And here we are. Good morning. Hello. Happy February 3rd, or whatever day you're watching this. Hello to the replay crew. And it is the first Monday in February. Feels a little bit surreal. I want to say surreal, but it is the first Monday of the second month of the new year. How are you doing? How is everyone doing? I feel like it's been a bit of a ride out here. Not a ride, nothing unexpected or unusual, just the normal stuff of life. My little one's been sick. Hello to our new viewers. Hey, Daryl, hello. How are you? How are things? How is the puppy? How is your morning going so far? So I feel like they're toward the back half of the last week. It's a little bit nutty for me because the weekend's usually a time to relax and recoup, and there was none of that for either of us, me or my husband. It's a little crazy. Not crazy. He had to catch up on work, and I then took the little one, and it was there's a lot. Yay! Good to see you too, Daryl. So I feel like neither one of us got that time to really rest and recharge. Although I'll have to say he very kindly lets me sleep in. He takes the morning duty. My daughter usually wakes up around 7. Let me know how the sound is. I always worry about the sound setup. The sound setup is something that I try to have. I'm working on upgrading and dialing in, but I hope I connected it right. So he takes the morning shift and lets me sleep in, and then I take the rest of the day. And then we sort of trade off bath duties, bath and bedtime duties. So as a result, sound is good. Good. Glad the sound is good. Daryl, how was your week? How are you doing? Slipped out. So as a result, I'm feeling a little bit, I'm just feeling a little bit, but excited to get after the week. Very excited that this is a new week. And I always feel like some people hate Monday. I feel like Monday is full of possibility. By Tuesday, that possibility is usually fizzled out, but I feel like Monday is so much can happen. Full of good stuff. Say best of intentions, but we have hope for Monday. Okay. So I've got my work going on the side. You're secret shopping. Oh, that's exciting. Where are you going? I've heard that can be fun. I've never tried it myself. I've been on like some not consumer reports, but I wanted to try it. It's never been worth it for me. It tends to be very involved for the shops that I was offered, but it sounds very exciting. Where are you off to? Okay, so the purpose of this live is to be accountable and to track our track what we're doing and see what's working and what's not working, in the hopes that we are doing more of what's working and less of what's not, so we can head in the right direction. So that's the purpose of this. No money in it, right? It's something to do, right? It's something fun to do. So in this 12-week year, the purpose is to set up strategies and tactics that help get you closer to your goal. 1 second. I am working over here. Lots going on at the beginning of the month. So what I've learned, this is the 4th week that I've completed with my scoring. And we'll go on and hop into it. Yes, same here. Same. Because of the nature of my day job, it's very cyclical and sort of month. There's a lot to do with the turn of the month. Top shelf. Ooh, owned by Dollar Tree. Very exciting. Do you have to buy things? What's your assignment? find that all kind of exciting. I used to pretend because we'd get mystery shopped when I worked in retail a million years ago, or when we did, and when I waited tables. So we'd like look for mystery shop customers because they would always order an appetizer, a drink, and a dessert, and it would usually be either one or two people. It wouldn't be a party; it would just be like single or a couple. And if we suspected that they were a mystery shop customer, we had to be on our super best behavior and offer all the specials and talk about all the right things. Hello, Fruga, back to work tomorrow, but new holidays next month. Very exciting. Oh, $2 to spend, Dara. Daryl, you buy puppy toys. Exciting. Yes, Fruga, good to see you. New holidays next month. You have the life. Tons of holidays, right? That's amazing. Where are you going on holiday? This in the upcoming month. So I am also just kind of finishing my morning routine, starting my morning gratitude routine. And it's been a month. It's been a week. So let's get into it, and I will share out my document for tracking, my tracking document, so you can see how I'm doing so far. Really, my only goal with this, A, is to make it through 12 weeks. B, to really give it a go for what's actually working. Okay. Perfect. Let me see if I can make this a little smaller and focus in. There. Okay, so this is Monday, February 3rd, and I have two goals: to upgrade my money mindset to increase my income, and number two, to grow my side business income to $1,000 or more. So those are my two goals. And here are the tactics I'm using for my goal number one: to upgrade my money mindset, declare wealth affirmations out loud at least once per day, to write out money appreciations at least once per day, to look at vision board at least once per day, and then write out future pacing. So if I'm being completely honest, I have not said my wealth affirmations out loud because sometimes I feel silly and I'm like, you know what? I need to get over that. I want to get over that. This is a temporary, if I can do it for 12 weeks, this is a temporary tactic to get me to a higher goal. And I've heard other performance trackers, performance coaches talk about upgrading your money mindset, like turning up the thermostat in a house, right? So if normally, say it's wintertime and you have your thermostat set at 58, like you're cold, you're uncomfortable, you're not going to die, but you're cold. And I'm thinking, okay, if I want to go from 58 to 62, that's how I turn up I can do that. And I can do it immediately. And that's something I can do. I just have to do it. Awesome. Chatting with colleagues. So it's a move that you make. I'm going to say a move that you make once, but once you get to that set point, you're at that set point. So I have to remember that this is a temporary tactic to get me to my overall goal. So that's what I'm going to remember. Write out money appreciations. I'm good at the writing part. Okay. Then we have look at vision board. So this one, I only gave myself 50% this week, but I will have a better score next week because last night as I was scoring myself, I did the actual work of updating my vision board because I didn't love it. And that's why I wasn't looking at it, because it didn't make me feel any kind of way, any kind of good way. And now I took about 40 minutes. Let me not say, like maybe 20 minutes. And I updated my vision board. So now I like looking at it. So that is a good thing because I didn't want to spend the time to do something that didn't have tangible results. Now that I've done it, I am excited and I will show you. This is here. I don't know if it's big enough. It's not. That is the updated vision board. And this image right here with the woman in money, I'm excited about because it's active and it's dynamic and it's something that's encouraging and I like to look at it. So that is encouraging me to actually look at the vision board, which makes me feel like I have this goal that I'm excited about. So you listen to wealth affirmations on YouTube. I do too, Daryl. Yes, please do send me your affirmations. that you listen to? I have a couple. I have two. Oh, that's something else. And we're talking about mindset and tips and tricks and habits to get into to help increase your mindset. That's what I'm focusing on now. So just something small. It might be superstitious, but it's something I just heard of recently. I've heard a lot of these things, like the whole feng shui idea, but I've heard one thing that supposedly, and this has origins in other traditions and practices. So I am a person of faith, but I am a person of faith, period. The tradition is to blow cinnamon into your house on the first day of the month, which is actually something that I did this first of this month. So I also wrote it into my planner to do on the first of the month, just because I like the idea cinnamon represents wealth and prosperity. So you stand outside of your door and you blow it in across your doorway into your home. I just like cinnamon, so that was something that I like to do. So I just started that this month. So more notes on how that turns out. More to come on that. So and then you have to open a window too to make sure that you release the negative energy. You have to open a window in the back of the house and then blow cinnamon into the front of the house. Um, the idea being that it's the movement and the flow of energy. Okay, and then write out future pacing at least once per week. I did do that. So, and for future pacing, I did just futures in 30 days, what I would like to see in 30 days. So that's exciting because it kind of gave me a more clear vision of what, again, I'd like to see in 30 days. So I got exactly an 85, which again is exciting. I did not add in my money, the lag indicators. I did not fill those in yet. So that is to come. And the reason is I was wondering, and this is something I already answered, but my question was, do I count revenue as I earn it in the month or as it hits my bank account? And I've decided to count revenue as I earn it in the month. So it's cash versus accrual. And I've decided to go on accrual for now because I want to focus on what I'm doing right now, not a lag indicator of how much money is hitting my bank, because I actually had a big Amazon payment hit my bank account from the Amazon influencer work I was doing in October, but that is not something I'm going to see in going forward. I want to focus on what I'm doing right now. So that was that answer. I will update that shortly. Okay, so rolling down to growing my side business income. So this was an interesting exercise because this week felt really long, but very effective in some areas. So it felt long. What's the hardest thing to do to upgrade your mindset? That is an interesting question, Fruga. So the hardest thing to do you mean hardest or most effective thing? Because they're different, right? So I would say the most effective thing to do, for me, it's gratitude, but then it's also visualizing. So visualizing gratitude, and then you have to take action because the first two mean nothing if you don't actually take action. But if you just take action, yay, Roland, hello, so glad you're here. Happy to see you. How are you doing? How is the new little one? Daryl, yes, saying rabbit, rabbit at the first of the month. Yes. Caden mentioned that. And it actually goes back to the Middle Ages and the tradition of ours. So it has a very storied tradition to say rabbit, rabbit on the first of the month. So Fruga, I would say those three things, gratitude, visualization, and then taking action are the best and most effective ways to upgrade my money mindset. Oh, and did I update? I don't think I did. I always forget that because it's not mine. Roland, are you working from home too? I will always forget. emails. It's fine. No, in office. Okay, awesome. So, Fruga, those are the 3 things. So yeah, oh my goodness, yes. Exactly, Roland. Yes, you tried explaining, but she just doesn't care. Yes. Same. It's like I can invite my child to the schedule and she can join or decline. Like I invite her to meetings and she very often declines. But the important thing for me is that I have a schedule that I'd like to follow. I'll tell you that was the most important thing for me. It was just to have a schedule, whether or not we often didn't follow it. Yes, Fruga, that's a good one. I'm asking you guys what's the hardest thing to upgrade your mindset? And Daryl's saying adopting an abundance mentality. Yes, very sure. Very true. Mm, mm, mm. Oopsie. Wait, I'm not fixing that. I'm not touching that. Not mine. 125, and then oh, great. I totally forgot that. Oops. So yes, adopting an abundance mentality is key. Okay, so for growing my side hustle, these are my tactics, and I'm doing it by time because I don't necessarily know at the moment what tactics are the most effective. So by giving myself 2 hours, saying I'm going to spend 2 hours in planning, from that 2 hours in planning come the tactics that I need, and then I decide what I need to do, and then I spend 3 hours doing those things. So, 10 on 76. Dang. Yes, that's huge. Okay. So, did I do that? Yes. So I spent at least 2 hours planning, and that is something I'm really proud of. Because I think this was the first week that I actually did that. Um, and it was very effective. It was a Wednesday, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I was tired, but I worked from 10:30 until midnight. And I had like everything spread out. It's like my planning routine. I had everything spread out. I had my journals and my pencils and my calendar and my yellow pad, and I'm working on answering the questions that I have. I'll talk more about that because it was really helpful. So let me just finish the scoring and then I'll talk about what's working. So spend 3 hours a week acting on income ideas. I gave myself an 80% because I probably only did 2 hours and I could have done more. And then spend at least 1 hour assessing the effectiveness of the tactics that I completed the previous week. And I gave myself 1 hour for that. And then actively network with other business owners. I did not do that. I consider this networking. So you guys are my first, you guys are networking and connecting. So thank you for being here. Roland, something that helped you update your mindset was acknowledging that we aren't smart enough or working hard enough, but that the system is almost always set up in a way that makes it harder. Yes. Oh, that it's not that we aren't smart enough or working hard enough. Yes. It's awful. Yes, almost like having an invisible opponent. Roland, yes. Yes. Okay. So my overall score for goal number 2, Roland, I want to come back to that. My overall score was 70%. So weekly total of 77.5. So last week I was at 75. Now this week I'm up to 77. So it doesn't feel like it, but I'm heading in the right direction, like incrementally. Okay. So we have week 5 ready to go. I could zero that out just to be and up. Let me do that. Okay. Zero that out and then zero this out. Okay. We're coming up on halfway to our 12 weeks completion. Okay. So that's what I'm doing. And so far I hit 85% in one tactic. So that's what's going on. And if it's a little discouraging. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little. I am making progress, Daryl. Yes. So, am I doing exactly what I'd like to do? No, because that's just the nature of life. But I am making progress. So that is the important part to remember, for sure. So that's that. So back to the idea of Roland, the system is almost always set up. Do you chat GPT? Fruga, another good question. Do I use chat GPT? I do. I have been using it a lot lately. And I was talking to my husband. He just upgraded to the paid version yesterday because he was working on some code and it was helping him. I am thinking of upgrading to the paid version for my work. Right now, it's probably not super necessary. I was using it for images and it's just like an assistant, right? It kept telling me, I'm working on this. I'm working on this. Hang tight just a little bit. And then I was like, okay, what's going on? And it's like, I ran into a problem where I can't do this. And I'm like, where I can't do images. And I'm like, okay, would have been great if you told me that 2 days ago, but we are where we are. I'm just grabbing my coffee. So yes, I absolutely use ChatGPT. I use it to help me brainstorm for my newsletter, but just for ideas and then for subject lines this month. And that's another thing I'm really proud of this month. I sent out my newsletter on the 1st, which in hindsight, I should probably have done it on a weekday because nobody's reading their email at 12:01 on a Saturday morning. Few people are reading emails 12:01 on a Saturday morning. Just messaging my boss real quick. We're fairly flat. So double checking. Working. So yes, making progress slowly, but in the right direction. And about updating the money mindset, Roland, coming back to your comment, the system is set up in a way that makes it harder. Yes. And that's something that I still struggle with because I was watching a comedy and this British comedy called Plebs, and a slave character is asking the landlord, "How do I make a lot of money?" And the landlord says, "I found the best way to make a lot of money is to have a lot of money to begin with." And I'm like, "Yes. Yes, that's true. Yes, Daryl, you read your email at 12:01. Thank you. I appreciate your answers and your feedback. It's really, really helpful." So, yes, the system is set up against us, like having an invisible opponent. Yes, absolutely. And it's really discouraging, but it's discouraging, but we can't let it stop us from doing what we can do, right? And I keep coming back to my 2 favorite quotes are I think it's Patton that said, "Do what you can with what you have where you are right now, and control your controllables." Just keep coming back to that, control what you can control. And while it's frustrating to feel like the system is against us, we can't let it stop us from doing what we can within the system, right? Doing our best within the system. And because I use that as an excuse to say, "Oh, well, why even bother trying? The system is against us." It is, but if you don't try, you won't get anywhere. Oh my gosh, Fruga, I can't. Contrary. Interesting. Fruga, by the way, it's kind of political. Hmm. That's very interesting, Fruga. That's an interesting comment. Um, and I can see both sides of that. That's interesting. Um, hmm. I hear you. it's a little scary what's going on in the government because I feel like we're swinging completely in a different direction than we have been for the past 4 years. And there's some aspects. No, I don't. I won't comment. I hear your comment though. I hear what you're saying. So the idea that we can't let what's against us stop us from moving forward, and that's what I keep remembering is that um, we have agency, we have power. For example, last week, you guys saw my weekly income hit something like 109.97, which was different, which was $100 up from what I made last month. So while it was not what I wanted, my goal of 1,000, it's better than I had last month. So, and that is directly attributed to the tactics that I've been working in this 12-week year system, directly attributed. So I want to be energized by what I can do and not discouraged by what I can't do. There's another, I love collecting quotes. It's a Denzel Washington quote that he told his kids, you got to keep moving. You got to keep moving and get up and keep moving because if you keep moving, you will find there's someone there to give you a hand. But if you don't move, then there's no one there to help you. So let me look at the quote. I'll look up the quote. No. I'll look for that. I'll look for it and I'll put it in the description box. Let's see. So that's what it is. You can't. Oh, now I'm like. This is awful. It was the Denzel Washington. It wasn't Sidney Poitier. Ways help you. No. Oh, I'll tell you what really inspired me this week. That's a good way to end. We'll talk about inspiration. So what inspired me, Roland, keep moving forward. The system wants you to feel discouraged so that we don't challenge it, but we are doing just that. Exactly. Yes, Roland. We're moving forward. The system wants us to be quiet, right? And not make waves or not move or not want to get anywhere better. So yes, we are challenging it. Daryl, you fought a toxic workplace for 10 years and controlled the controllables. Like you said, it was tough. I can imagine a toxic workplace. Oh my goodness. I've been there and it's same. It is no fun. Keep shuffling. So what inspired me was I actually started, I can't believe I didn't do this sooner. My daughter is 2 and almost 2.5, 2 and 5 months. And I just started watching Mr. Rogers with her. And I watched that growing up. I remember as a kid, I thought it was boring. I wasn't allowed to watch Sesame Street. And that's the one thing I really wanted to do because my mom thought it was too distracting, which is exactly what it's designed to be, to keep kids' attention. So I finally sat down and watched it with her. I was afraid that it wouldn't keep her attention, but just the opening theme, it's a little xylophone with an up run, and she loved it. Like she was hooked, and I was like shocked that she really enjoyed it. So the very first episode we watched was on making crayons, and Mr. Rogers sings a song. He's drawing with crayons, and he's like, I like to do it, but I'm not very good at it. And the song he sings is It's You That Has to Do It. And Fred Rogers is kind of a personal hero because he cared. He cared about kids, and he would do things that were in their best interests, not necessarily the most popular thing. There was a whole bunch going on with child development and psychology with Sesame Street at the time, but he wanted to be contemplative and quiet, and he wanted to focus on being a safe space for kids. And so as a result, I tell my daughter when we're sitting there, I said, "He really cares about you. Mr. Rogers cares about you. He's talking to you." And it's true because he did. And he does and he did. Well, he did. He's no longer with us. The song he sang was "It's you, you've got to do it." And the first line is, "You can make believe it happens or pretend something's true. You can wish or hope or contemplate a thing you'd like to do, but until you start to do it, you will never see it through, because the make believe pretending just won't do it for you." And the chorus is, "You've got to do it. Every little bit, you've got to do it. And when you're through, you can know who did it, for you did it, you did it, you did it." And I'm like, oh, I almost started crying. Because I feel like he was saying to me, all this wishing and dreaming and hoping to get to a better place, that's not going to do anything. I have to do it. So that was what motivated me this week, is to do it, to actually do it. Oh my goodness. Frug, I see your comment about the French government. Yes, taxes. France is a world champion of taxes. Oof, yeah. I mean, and I fully acknowledge I might not agree with everything that's going on in my country right now. I would say pros and cons. But I mean, we've got a system, and that system is being exercised right now. So I hear you, and I sympathize, Fruga. That's awful about companies that are closing down. So I mean, that's awful. Again, pros and cons. So all we can control is what we can is our controllables. So let's not let what we can't control stop us from doing what we can to control what we can. All right, guys. This has been amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that seeing my tactics and my progress over the past few weeks has been helpful to you. Thank you for being here again. And hello again if you're watching on the replay, crew. I'm looking forward to continuing on. So I will wish all of you guys a wonderful week ahead. Wrap it up now. Have a great week. And here's to moving forward and controlling what we can and making progress. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.